In today's world, if we really want to fight climate change, there are two things that we must do. First, to try to use products that reduce carbon emissions. But we also need at the same time to invest in the capture of CO2. Corticeira Amorim is the world's biggest cork company. We exist to add value to cork, from a single cork stopper to a wine bottle to the most sophisticated cork composite for the space shuttle applications.
We arrived to what the cocoa forest is today by the opening of the Mediterranean natural and original forest. First for animal grazing and also for some agriculture in the more fertile valleys. It's a system, a multifunctional system where man had a major role. This system is where you can find more than 200 species of animals and more than 130 species of plants per square kilometer. It is one of the world's 36 hotspots in terms of biodiversity. So it is very important for us, for human beings.
Sustainability is part of our DNA. Cork is a true natural material. It takes 25 years for that wonderful cork tree to give its first harvest, and then we harvest the cork tree every 9 years. So the tree stays there up to 150, 200 years, being the main source of CO2 retention.
If we consider all the cork oak forest that is supported by Amorim, the generation of CO2 that we have in our operations is just about 5.9% of the total CO2 that is sequestered in the forest.
We have studies that prove that for every single ton of cork, you can retain 73 tons of CO2. So when you produce a cork stopper, that single cork stopper, if you include the work that forest had, it can retain up to almost 400 grams of CO2.
We use 100% of cork. Each kilo of cork that is harvested, we use it. Amorim Cork Composites was born to develop a new set of materials to use the cork that was basically the leftovers and the byproducts from the cork stoppers. We have a program to use all the dust that comes from the cutting, from the sanding, from the profiling, to develop also a set of new products and materials.
Well, consumers are demanding more sustainability across the board, and that's, again, a good thing for everybody. I don't think we can change enough, and certainly not quickly enough, if we don't have demand from the consumers for a more sustainable approach towards the products and the applications that the world has to use.
looking at the cork oak forest, I thought, what can we do to improve it? I tried to find out what were the nutrients necessary for the cork oak, and I couldn't find in the literature or in science. And as the olive tree is very similar, and it's also a Mediterranean species, I tried to irrigate and plant there some cork oaks. What was my surprise that they thrived fantastically, and after 8 years I could peel them for the first time. Instead of the 40 years that in the normal way would get, you can have a commercial harvest after 20 years after planting. And that's the biggest advantage of irrigating the cork oak.
We are talking about an industry that is CO2 negative from a retention point of view. That's how unique this industry and this wonderful product is.
We develop materials in the aerospace industry, automotive, transportation, packaging, construction, flooring, so several applications that were born basically because here internally we have a motto: no waste, everything is valued.
I really think we fit as a company in today's preferential criteria from a purchasing trend from consumers. If it is true that climate change, if it's true that the environment is going to be a top priority, as it is already today, from here onwards, and new future generations will be even enhancing their preference more in the future, I think that we are in the right industry, and I think that we are working with the right product. But the most important thing is to look ahead. And when you look ahead, you see even greater things than the ones that were done before. That's why in our industry we normally say that the best is yet to come.